Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Best Show Ever podcast, the podcast where I interview folks about the best concerts they ever saw in their lives. I'm your host, Cam Hertz. This has been a fantastic week of episodes for you. This week, we have got comedians on the show. We have got two very funny people within our scene. The other episode is with stand-up comedian Mike Fanoia, but the one you're listening to right now is with Phish content creator, funny video maker, costume extraordinaire, Sneakin Ally, Allison Black. Um, Super stoked to have Allison on. Allison Ally, Sneakin Ally makes some of the best videos that happen within our scene. Um, she has done, the different types of dudes that are at shows, the different types of dancers that are at shows, how to get ready for a show. She plays characters that are hilarious. She's going full costume on these characters, voice changing, all that kind of stuff. And she was making funny Phish videos well before I was making funny Phish videos. And so it is an honor to sit here and talk with Sneakin Ally. We have a great conversation about her Phish history. I feel like this episode really gets folks ready for the Sphere that is coming up this weekend. Just in her talking about her different experiences at Phish, I feel like there's going to be a lot of head nodding. I feel like there's going to be a lot of "Yep, been there, done that." And Allie's hilarious, and it was great to talk to her. We haven't officially met in person, but we've messaged a bunch about funny stuff. We even made some plans to make some stuff in the future, and that'll happen in the future at some point. But I do want to shout out a couple of folks here while I've got you. One being the Jerry Tone Store. I don't know if you haven't followed this account yet. I think Jerry Tone Store is such a great Instagram account to follow. This guy has a bunch of different guitars that he plays through that are tuned and built to the exact specifications of some of Jerry's guitars. He's a fantastic guitar player, and he will go ahead and throw Jerry solos on songs that didn't ever have a Jerry solo, like ABBA songs or the Home Depot theme or other great covers. He's got great content. If you like guitars, it's an interesting account. If you like the Dead at all, it's an interesting account. If you like good Instagram posts, it's a good account to follow. So Jerry Tone Store. I also want to shout out the fan art uh, meetup going on in Vegas this weekend, 420 for the Sphere weekend. Fan art's going to be setting up at Brooklyn Bowl, and fan art usually happens at places where Phish vendors are not able to set up a full lot situation. So this will essentially replace lot, and there's a bunch of great vendors that are going to be there, and they're all selling great Sphere-related, Vegas-related Phish merch. If you're hanging out during the day on Saturday and you're out there in Vegas for the Sphere, definitely go check out fan art. Make sure that you bring some cash and poke around, and at least at a minimum, check out all the cool stuff that people have on sale there. At a maximum, buy every single piece of merch from everyone. I think that they would appreciate that. If you walked into fan art and bought something from every single vendor, I think that they would replace you on this podcast. I think you'd be the new host of the Best Show Ever podcast. Consider that. Consider that. Really great interview coming up here. I'm not going to bore you with any more intro. Sit back, relax, and laugh your ass off to this interview that I have with Allison Black, aka Sneakin Ally on Instagram. First, here's a little bit of music from a band called Loom with their song "What I Mean."
All right, you just got to stop me, or I'll just keep doing this the entire time. All right, hold on.
That'd be funny. We do kind of like a not episode where it's like an hour of us.
You do it with my hair,
and then it's like the outro music.
Like me being like, okay, it's fine. It's as good as it's gonna get.
I'm sure there would be someone that'd be like, man, that Sneakin Ally, that was so good. It was just real. Like she really I do my hair too. And
So insecure.
I also do my hair, and just to watch a woman do her hair for an hour, I was like, you know what? That's me.
So relatable.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But you're moving.
Yeah. Am I close enough?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
That gives
Cool.
you room to kind of
I'm super comfortable.
you can kind of bob in and out. All right, so yes, you can go ahead and start.
Is this natural? Do I look natural?
Just do something natural. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
That's like when you're out on an audition and someone's like, "Now just like be you. Just do one where you're you." And I'm like, "Cool, that's what I was attempting that." And so this I don't know what this is going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I should not look at myself actually. Remove this tile.
Gone. It's just me now.
Yep. It's just you.
Um you're moving out of Lafayette. You're going back to Georgia?
Yeah, I'm going back to Georgia. It unfortunately it took me moving all the way back to Colorado because I lived here from 2011 to 2015 before I moved to New York City.
New York City.
And it took me moving all the way back here to realize that, like, yeah, I think I want to go back to Georgia. So it was just like I like whatever I do, I like to take the most expensive route. And I was like, how am I gonna figure this out and know for sure? Let me just move somewhere else first. So
Let me do some improv classes in New York.
I mean, New York was fun.
Yeah.
And I would totally move back there if I didn't have this stupid, adorable dog that I got during the pandemic.
Yeah, and that's good. That's a response. A lot of people would just be like, "Fuck it, I'm doing that anyway," and I'll
They'd be
just
like, I'm
figure out.
just gonna put the dog on the curb. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the dog will just go outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Did you go back to Georgia recently and have like a like, oh shit, I like it here kind of moment?
So I went to so I when I have to go to New York for my job still. And so when I go to New York, I'll fly to Georgia with my dog. I drop off Frankie, my dog, at my mom's house because Frankie is obsessed with my mom. And then I fly to New York. So I did that like in mid-October. And then I did my work. And then I was like, well, I might as well stay like for Thanksgiving. And then I had to I ended up staying um because I had to do something for work in Palm Springs. So I was like, well, I'll leave Frankie in Georgia. And then I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well stay for Christmas. And then I was in Georgia I thought I was going to be in Georgia for New Year's. And then a friend of mine messaged me up the day before New Year's and was like, yo, we have to go to New
No.
York for
Yeah.
MSG. And I was like, I can't. I don't have anyone to watch the dog. It's irresponsible. And he was like, dude, you can find someone to watch that cute dog of yours. We're going. And he talked me into it. And so, yeah.
Good friend, good person.
Yeah. But during that time, I was like, I kept deferring going back to Colorado. And I was like, well, that definitely means something, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, some of my relatives are I don't really like talk to them, but some of them are great
Yeah.
and they're working on like making our farm a film location and they want me to manage that. So
Wow.
projects, yeah, yeah.
You can do that in Georgia.
Yeah,
You can do cool
they like
film stuff in Georgia.
they film stuff in Georgia. And so yeah, we're working on getting our farm set up as a film location and I've had talks with scouts from HBO and Netflix. And I made a joke to the guy the other day. I was like, "So can I like make it part of the contract that like I get a small role in everything?" And like he laughed, but I wanted to be like,
And you didn't laugh.
no,
You're like, but seriously though, what's the deal?
but I think it'll if we can get it going, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
Free
that's
money,
great.
yeah, yeah,
You gotta love free money and you gotta love film money.
yeah,
Scout money, location money.
yeah.
That's sweet. I moved to LA 2 years ago, and every time I go back to Chicago or Wisconsin, I'm like, I gotta go back. I gotta go back.
You got to go back to LA.
No, I gotta go back to Chicago or Wisconsin. I mean, eventually I land back in California, and then I'm like, oh yeah, California fucking rips. It's sweet. It fucking rips, dude. California is really sweet, but I mean, Just miss home. Just miss like I also don't like talk to my relatives or even a lot of my friends from back home all the time. But it's just good. It's just nice.
Yeah. So when I lived in New York, I didn't get this feeling. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, who knows where the world is going to bring us? You know, who knows?
So true.
So true.
It's so true. Well, I'm stoked to have you on the episode.
Having me.
Of course. I love your videos. Pretty much right away when I started doing my videos, people were like tagging you, being like, "When are we going to see a collab?" And so
And I
here
was
it
like,
is.
this noob, shut up. Yeah.
You're like, "Fucking never, dude.
Pretty much.
I would never cheapen my brand with this
No, and then
fucking
I met
custy."
you. No, no, then I met you and I was like, oh my God, I love Cam so much. I love him. Yeah. So
I love you too.
should we just compliment each other the whole time? Should we just talk about how cool we are?
Yeah, it's called Best Fish Comedian Ever, the
No, I mean,
podcast.
we are, I think we are the best, the top two Fish sketch artists in the world, really.
Really, probably in the universe,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, it's not nothing.
It's not nothing. It's something. We got it in something, and it's there's worse communities to be a little video guy for. You know, I could be
What
doing
would
it for
be
like
what would be worse? What would be like if we like did videos like for Tool or something?
oh, I was thinking like a completely different thing. Yeah, video guy for Tool would kind of suck.
People would
Maybe
hate
like
us. People would
if
really
I
hate
did
us.
it for like pro wrestling. I don't know. Now I'm gonna get a bunch of shit from pro wrestling Fish fans. They're gonna be like, "Are you serious, dude?"
Thank you. Edit it out. Edit it.
Yeah, I don't need that heat.
Mm-mm.
Um, but we're gonna talk about your best shows
Okay.
ever today. We're gonna talk about your concerts. Before we get into like your best show ever,
Mhm.
and honorable mentions, what's the first concert you ever saw in your life
Okay.
ever?
I prepared for
Man,
this.
thank you.
You're
Other
welcome.
guests, other guests, take notes. You know, literally.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. My first show was May 29th, 1998, Lakewood Amphitheater. Last day
Wow.
of 8th grade, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant. So like,
Wow.
yeah. Um,
So like, yeah,
so like I
pretty
got the
much
let out. Yeah.
in eighth grade.
The last day of 8th grade. So I went with Stephen Watley, a boy in my class who was actually my first boyfriend. Stephen Watley.
What's up,
Um,
Steven?
yeah. He was like, "Hey, do you want to go see Page and Plant?" And I remember he had like a big Stairway to Heaven poster in his bedroom. And I was like, "What's that?" And he was like Led Zeppelin. And then I remember he made me a tape a couple months before, and it had rock and roll. I think, yeah, it had like rock and roll, Black Dog, Stairway. And so it was me and then another girl, Katie Floyd, and three other dudes. And Stephen Watley's dad drove us in the minivan like two
Nice.
hours south to Atlanta. And it was just it was like the beginning of me turning into kind of a rebel teen, if you will.
Oh yeah. Did you guys get into some nefarious behavior that evening?
Um, we
Smells pretty good over here, kids. What are we
so
smoking?
it was the first time that I smelled marijuana, and I remember
Nice.
being like, "What is that?" And finally, Mr. Watley was like, "Allison, that's marijuana," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But so we were going to be upcoming freshmen, and we ran into some of the kids that were going to be seniors, and so like I drank a beer, I smoked my first
Whoa.
cigarettes.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I smoked weed. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I felt super cool, and it was definitely like foreshadowing because I did in middle school, I was like really into the Lord and Jesus. And it was when I woke up the next day, that was not part of that wasn't, the Lord
You
was,
was gone.
the Lord, Yeah, Jesus wasn't my homeboy anymore.
He was not your homeboy.
I was like, who can get me another Camel Light cigarette, you know?
Kids, just so you know, the kids who are listening to this episode, she mentioned something about tapes before, this boyfriend giving her a tape. That's what we used to listen to music on this, and you could put it into your car or even a tape player. They had portable ones. You had to be very careful. She also just mentioned Jesus is my homeboy. See, now this was a t-shirt, and everyone likes cool t-shirts. This was kind of one of the first cool t-shirts,
Mhm.
really.
It was like a meme. It was like a meme before memes existed.
Yeah, and for you, it was kind of like a meme.
Yeah, for grandma over here.
You get it.
My first Phish show was I don't think I wrote this down. My first Phish show was 6/23/2000 at the same venue. I was 15. My 16th birthday was the next day. So I'm 1.0 barely. 1.0 barely legal.
1.0, baby.
But yeah, so that was cool.
Which you've brought that up every time we've ever talked. So that's fun. That's cool.
Well, I mean, it's because you're 4.0, so I have to constantly educate you about about Phish and just continuously remind you that I'm better than you.
What is 3.0 and 4.0? Can you tell me that?
So,
Is that
so
is it
3.0, really? You don't know?
I have what I think is 3.0 and 4.0,
Okay. So
but
3.0 is if you saw the band starting with when they came back in 2009, they played I think it was 4 shows at Hampton Coliseum. So that's 3.0 if you saw them that night or after. And
right.
then 4.0, which some people don't acknowledge 4.0,
Yeah.
is seeing them after they came back from COVID restrictions.
Some 3.0, dude.
Sure. You are.
That's like a thing never to be bragged about. Yeah, I'm fucking 3.0, okay? So, yeah,
I
show a
mean,
little
yeah.
respect. Are we in 5.0 now that
No, we're in 4.0. We're in 4.0.
But now that they did Gamehenge, are we in 5.0?
I don't think so. That's a great
Right.
question for like an old angry Phish fan, though. He'd be like, "Shut up and don't talk to me."
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, my mom recently sent me a text, and she said, I think I posted it. She said,
I love this post.
Yeah, she said, and I mean, this was totally real. Are you a 1.0? Are you a 1.0 with Phish? I just read a great article about them, how they started in Vermont at Nectar's. And I'm like, yes, mother, I'm 1.0.
Yeah, mom. God.
But it was cute that she was like reading about Phish,
Yeah.
That's adorable.
That is cute.
Pretty cute. Yeah. So first show was Page and Plant, which was, I mean, that's pretty. What was your first show?
That's rock and roll. I saw Queen with my dad.
Oh, okay. So like not the Wiggles. No.
It was Yeah, I saw the Wiggles right after that, and they were fucking awesome.
The Wiggles opened for Queen.
Yeah, they were sick as fuck. Super metal show. No, I saw Queen with Paul Rogers with my dad. Paul Rogers was the front man from Bad Company. And it was sick as fuck. And my first Phish show was 1989. Boston Garden or whatever. Something. No. It wasn't that. We all know it wasn't that. Okay.
Yeah, we all do know. That's a pretty cool show.
You said it's a pretty cool shirt?
Show.
Oh yeah.
No, what does your shirt say? It looks like a Looney Tunes shirt. What is it?
No, it's cool. It's a fall tour shirt.
It's Space Jam.
It's some lot stuff. You've been to a lot before, yeah?
Just Shakedown Street, you mean?
So now Shakedown Street happens outside of Phish shows, Allie. You might have heard of this.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a market. People sell things.
Like drugs.
You'll get into it. You like drugs, of course. At your first Phish show, who'd you go with for that? Was that you and your friends or?
My dad had bought me tickets for my birthday. He got me 4 pavilion seats. And so let's see. Yeah, I don't know if my friend could drive, but my mom was like, no, you guys aren't going alone to a Phish show. So she got my best friend, who's still my best friend, she got her sister, who is now a physician, to take us. So she called her up and she was like, Sarah, will you take the girls to Phish? We have an extra ticket. You can take your friend. And she was like, yeah. I think she was going to school at Georgia Tech at the time. And
Nice.
so yeah, we had a blast. Yeah. We drank
Wow.
some beers. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Sick. Very sick. And you had been at the
Yeah.
venue before.
What?
You had been at the venue before. You're like, I've smoked some
Oh,
cigs in here.
yeah. I've definitely smoked cigarettes in this. That's funny. That was good. Yeah, I was
I
hoping.
know what's going on.
And I remember, no, I remember feeling just like very scared, and then I didn't know. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, and then I saw Trey, and I was like, my boyfriend. And then
Yeah.
I think the third song they played "Bathtub Gin," which I knew, so I was like, all right, I know the song, so
Nice.
I
We're
thought
in
it was
it.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember those 2000 shows too. They were pretty sweet. No, well, but before we get into your best show ever, do you have honorable mention shows that are like you would be remiss if we didn't bring them up
Yeah, yeah.
on the show?
I have some other shows that were pretty cool. So, okay, here's one. So, in 2018, I was living in New York, and a friend who I'd seen Phish with sent me a text and said, "Hey, do you want to go see Elton John at MSG tonight?" And like,
Whoa.
who says no to that? So, he didn't tell me where we were sitting or anything, and I got there. I'd only seen Phish and like the Rangers. Let's go Rangers!
Let's go
At
Rangers.
at MSG. So we went, and it was just so lovely to see him. And like, he's a rail rider now. When I first met him, well, I guess when I met him, I did meet him in line to. It was in 2010 at Berkeley,
Nice.
because we were all waiting in line to get Pollux, and I think that was the first time he waited in line, and he was very clean cut, and now he like looks like a total hippie. Anyways, and so we got there and we got our tickets, and we kept like going further down and further down and further down, and then we got to the floor, and there was chairs. It's not like a Phish show.
Yeah.
It's like for elderly people like me. And then we kept moving forward and forward and forward. And I'm like, what? Like, where are we sitting? Did you win concert tickets on the radio or something? And so he got his 10th row center for Elton John. Russell Crowe was directly behind us, that
Oh my
badass.
God.
And then Bill Clinton was to our left, and it was so much fun. It was
Wow.
this like goodbye Yellow Brick Road farewell tour, which I feel like really famous people, like really famous bands and artists, like the Rolling Stones must be on their fifth farewell tour, you know?
Oh, I think they started doing farewell tours in like 84,
I
and
think
they've
so
just been
too.
doing like,
Like they just can't leave. They keep
yeah,
having babies, that's why.
right, exactly. Yeah, I
um
mean, but that is the like you got to go see the legacy act, before they're like not on stage anymore or not touring anymore. And Elton John is like the fucking the legacy act of legacy acts. Like, I mean, that set list was probably insane.
No, it was really funny. And like, so for all of these, I went and looked at the set list, and it made me remember, like, oh yeah, Phish is the only band, like Phish and like jam bands are the only ones that change up the set list.
Yeah, right.
Elton John, I went to like find the date, and it was, I mean, it's the same set every single night. I don't know why I was surprised, because that's how it usually is. So another memorable show, and you made fun of this band on your on on the podcast. So I almost didn't bring it up because I have watched every single episode.
Wow.
Yeah, so I could make fun of you, but then I was like, ugh.
Okay. You
um
got to know your enemies. Yeah.
right. So I saw you two play in July of 2005 in Amsterdam,
When
and I
did I make
don't.
fun of you too? I don't
You
remember.
made fun of you too. I think it was with your buddy, the niche guy.
Oh yeah, long
Um
strange niche, Connor.
yeah. Um okay, so that show again, same set, like I looked, and it was like same set list every night, except I think they change one song for encore. So that show was crazy because I used to work for Greenpeace, and the international headquarters of Greenpeace is in Amsterdam. And what is it? Okay, the venue held 56,000 people.
Oh my God.
So like MSG holds like I think like 30, 35, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it might be like a little under 30, to be honest. Might be like
So
right at 30.
like I've never been to a concert that it was just overwhelming to the point where I remember some people came up to us during the show or like in the beginning of the show, and none of us were dancing because I think we were just overwhelmed. And then we like got into the groove. But yeah,
Bono
it was
got you.
just yeah, oh my God. But I remember watching the show and being like, he is either on like copious amounts of cocaine or he is the cockiest man in the world. But I think he's sober.
Yeah.
So it's cockiest man in the world. Like he was
It's
just like prancing around like a dictator, I remember.
it would be very hard for me to I have not seen you two yet. There, I said it. And it would be very hard for me to see you two and not think of the South Park episode where they like make fun of Bono. I don't know if have you seen this?
I haven't what show?
South Park? It's South Park. These kids are watching it. It's like construction paper or something.
I don't have I seen that one? What's like the what's the point they're trying to make in that episode? I haven't seen it. I'm not
And
gonna
this is my favorite part of South Park is
okay.
explaining an episode of South Park. This is Bono holds almost every world record for everything because he has to be the number one in everything.
Uh-huh.
And Randy Marsh, Stan's dad, takes the world's biggest shit, like verified, and they like have this like special department. It's like not the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a completely separate thing in Germany of like the people who like grade biggest shits. And so Bono and like Randy Marsh get in this like fight over who takes the biggest shit. This is good.
Uh-huh.
This is good content for the podcast.
Grade
And yeah, and there's just like a lot of scenes of him like doing exactly what you said, like prancing around and going like yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like he was wearing almost like a jacket that was like a military-esque kind of
Oh yeah.
jacket. It was very yeah. And for a moment like I remember him and the Edge like looked like they were or the Edge looked like he was mad at Bono, and I was thinking I do remember thinking like I can see how like everyone might hate him, but they just make so
Yeah.
much money.
How could you got to keep doing it.
Were you alive when the new iPhone on the update, they automatically put that U2 album on everyone's phone?
What was that, like 2008? Yeah, I was alive. I was in high school. Yeah.
Hey, you never know.
Were you alive for Barack Obama? Do you remember Barack Obama?
I do. I was living in Washington, D.C. I was part of the movement. Yeah.
I'll make fun of you too, but like the start of Joshua Tree is probably the first 3 songs of Joshua Tree are the best, maybe 3 songs to start an album ever. And I did look it up, and it is Where the Streets Have No Name, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, With or Without You. I mean, that's fucking like
that's
you can
pretty
say
good.
what you want. You say what you want about the jacket with Bono. I mean, pretty good fucking album.
I mean, I didn't make fun of you two in my podcast. Actually, my dog growing up. So I
Was
have
named the
3
Edge?
older brothers. His name was the Edge. His name was Bono, and it was so annoying because people would always pronounce it wrong and then say Bono, and we're like, no, it's Bono.
Bono, God, that'd be so stupid.
Yeah, so Bono.
Oh, Bono.
He was pretty cool.
Any other honorable mention shows?
Oh yes. Let me reapply my glasses. Okay. All right. So this one, I might catch a little heat for.
Here we go.
Another excellent show was Widespread Panic, 6/24/2023, my 39th birthday at Red Rocks. So this past year, it was my birthday, and I went to Red Rocks with a friend to see Panic. Even though I make fun of Widespread Panic, I'd seen Panic like 5 times before when I was in high school, because my brother is a big Panic fan, and, you know what? I had a hell of a good time, and I texted, a couple people when I was there being like, "Man, like, I'm having such a good time, like, Panic fans are so much better than Phish fans." And then, one of the people I texted that to made it into a meme, and I remember during the show, I was like, "What?" Like, I got, like, 300 followers during the show, and it's because that Hetty.net guy, like, posted our conversation, like, the last thing I was like, "Please don't post this," and he was like, "LOL."
Yeah.
Anyways, I got called out, but I was like, It's fine. I'm fine being called out." It was so fun, but I am right in that like Fish fans were very we don't tolerate chompers, but it's because Fish is like way more. It's Fish is better. We're more serious about our,
Yeah.
like I
The
don't want to
sincere
hear if you're talking. I'm going to probably say something to you. I'm
you're
just
getting
like
shushed.
read the room. So like my favorite thing to say is okay, so I was at a show one time and there was these two guys that were behind me and they were just like, I mean, like having the best they were solving the problems of the world.
Yeah, dude.
And I finally turned around and I said, "Hey, have you guys ever heard of the band Fish?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I said, "They're playing right there." And they looked kind of pissed at first, and then like I don't know, like a minute later they tapped me and they're like, "Fair. We're sorry.
Sure.
We're sorry." But I mean, people have definitely been like, "Shut up, cunt." And I'm like, so
It's
you
so
never
funny when
know. You never know. But there was a ton. I mean, the Panic Show was fun, but it was like Chomper Central.
yeah.
But it was also like I didn't have to apologize. Like I could like go down a line of people and like nobody was like like getting their panties in a wad. It was just like, "Whatever, man. You want some of this bowl? Hey, man, you want some mushrooms? Like, hey, man, will you grab me a beer?" It was just like nobody cared.
And I've heard that those Red Rock shows for them are like it's like party time. It's
It was
like total
fun.
fuck yeah, it's like total fucking party time.
Yeah, and
And why
yeah.
why would you get flack for liking Widespread Panic? I feel like I
Yeah.
get flack for not making Widespread Panic content. I just don't listen to enough I mean, my noobness will show super hard, and it already shows in Fish just in my face, but I kinda, like, listen to Fish and, like, know a little
um,
bit. Widespread Panic, I'm like, I just ha like, they're just Widespread Panic to me. I don't know enough to make
are you asking why we're supposed to hate Panic? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah, why would people give you shit for going to a Panic show?
Oh, I mean, 'cause no, it's not seriously.
Yeah.
Just because like I made that one sketch about sibling rivalry, which was based on a true story. And I think I've like made some jokes about Panic, because
Yeah,
Fish is better than Panic.
they
But
are.
I did have a good time. I remember I think the first Panic show that I went to, my brother, um so it was me and it was like a friend of mine and then all my brother's friends. And before he like released me to go hang out and do drugs by myself, he got a Sharpie and he wrote down my arm, like if found, and then he wrote his name and his phone number. And I think about it now and I'm like, that's probably like the nicest thing he ever did for me.
Yeah. That's how you did it back then, 'cause, there was no cell phones back in this time. There was no you would have to have a carrier pigeon or, something of the
We had
like.
rotary phones. Yeah, we had rotary phones,
Right.
which
Flare guns.
you don't even know.
Just like in the
It's
parking
really
lot.
that's funny and it makes me mad how funny it is.
You don't like when I'm funny with you.
No, so I have friends. I do, but I get mad because I'm like, fuck, they're funnier than me.
Yeah.
Because
No, I
like
can
I,
be this
I
way.
have to write my funny down, whereas like you're more funny top of the head. Like I'm more funny in general, obviously, but
Yeah, it's obviously.
you're quick witted. I'll give you that, kid.
If you
Okay. Let's see. And then I did write the Hollywood Bowl show, the Fish Hollywood Bowl show from 4/22/2023, because they did
Yeah.
on the second set they did that sick 2001 into Sally, which was Fergalicious. Oh, wait, have we talked to oh no, we haven't talked about worst shows. Never mind.
We haven't talked about worst shows. Do you have a worst show?
Yeah. Did I talk
and I
about it?
and I gotta know about it. I gotta know what shit it was.
Gotta know. Okay, so well, obviously Coventry, um,
Yeah.
because that was just like sad, but also, and when I was looking this up, I had forgotten about this, but Kuroda wasn't there for Coventry, and I think he was playing a Dave Matthews show.
Man.
I know. Um, but oh, like I think I remember like overall, I kind of had fun at Coventry, and I this is super nerdy. I still have. So it rained really hard, and
Yep.
I like I don't know where I got these boots, if they were like selling them in the general store or if I found them. I think I might have like found them just like abandoned in a pile of mud. And and then so I saved the boots. I still have my boots from Coventry with like the original mud.
It's got the mud on there.
And that's
Just
pretty,
just eye roll yourself.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty bad.
It's
Um
good. No, and there's probably someone out here there that could identify the mud. You can like
could
bring
like
some
see if
like
I was being a liar.
yeah, like bring some like Pawn Stars Wook in to be like, this is actually the mud.
Best I can do is
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and then another terrible show, and this is just gonna make me sound like a granny. Have you ever heard of the band Sleigh Bells?
No, I
Okay,
haven't.
so if you watch the show Girls, Lena Dunham played one of their songs. Yeah. So, anyways, I still like them. It's this girl band, and um. Okay, let me start over.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So it was October 22nd, 2012, Boulder Theater. The band was called Sleigh Bells, and I went with my friend Shappy, who is just like an absolute animal. And we went and he disappeared, and the band started, and it was so freaking loud. It was so loud.
Oh,
And like to the point where I was like, am I the only one? And then I went and got earplugs, and then Shappy, I remember Shappy walking up to me, and he was like, and when I saw him being like, nope, nope, we're going home, I was like, okay, I'm not as crazy as I thought, because once he was like, this is too much, I felt a little bit more validated in my thought to leave. So I Googled it in preparation for this episode. And apparently the band Sleigh Bells is too loud on purpose, and their lights are really bright because they're trying to like make a sense, like a sensory overload kind of thing. But I couldn't find anybody else complaining about it. Like
I'm like, don't you love this? It fucking sucks. Isn't this awesome?
I couldn't. And I thought maybe it was like, I thought also maybe like it was one of those things where you're supposed to push through like a sweat lodge, when like just about when you think you're gonna die, and then you have like you like have visions. And I was like, maybe that's what it is. And then when I saw Shappy being like, "Yeah, we're calling
Nope.
it," I was just like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah, no, we don't have to push through. There's nothing to push through. We're
Yeah,
out of here.
there was no Vision Quest coming up. It was just, but I still listen to them. I just don't go to their concerts.
Yeah, because you can control the volume on your end. You can
Yeah,
put it, you can take it
it's,
down
it's
a notch.
and I know there's so many memes about this. Isn't it so funny? Like when you're driving and you don't know where you are, and then you turn down the music. What is that?
I just had a friend make fun of me for this like the other day. I just had to like parallel park and I like turned the volume down. He's like, "Yeah, that'll help."
I am. I think Nicole Richie said it best. She said I'd rather have a colonoscopy on live TV than have anybody watch me parallel park.
It's true. I parallel park, no problem. Put one person either on the sidewalk or in my car. I cannot parallel park. I can't do it. I don't
And
know
I
how
didn't
to
know.
do it.
I've had strangers. I've like yelled at strangers like, "Can you parallel park the car?" Like that's a lot of trust, and they'll be like, "Yeah,
Wow,
I know."
man, I gotta. There's no way my pride would ever let me give up.
Well, I'm a cute
I'll just
girl,
keep.
so I'm just no, no.
Yeah, you just play stupid.
Yeah,
You're like,
I'm just myself.
wow.
Yeah, I think that's it for mine.
Well, what about your best show that you've ever seen in your life? What show is that?
Best show ever. Let me set the scene for you. Okay, so it was 2017.
Whoa.
It was 2017. And I had not seen a Phish show in like 2 or 3 years, and I hadn't um eaten L in about 5 years. Okay. So
Wow.
I know it's a lot of, yeah. I'm not sure why, but yeah. So I was living in New York and I was working on 43rd and Broadway. So just, down the road from MSG, and it was Baker's Dozen. And so I walked down after work and I put my hand up, got a ticket.
Mm.
And like almost right after, a buddy of mine, Michael Boyer, I got a tap on the shoulder and it was my friend. And so we went in to the show together and we ended up being able to sit together. And
Mm.
when we were walking in, he was like, "Hey, do you want to eat a dose?" And I just thought, I was like, I haven't done this in so long. And so it just felt right. And so I did it. Oh, and it was the first time that I'd ever been to MSG. So it
Oh,
was just
wow.
like, it was it was a lot. It was a lot.
You're just saying
So
yes to all of it. You're saying,
yes,
yeah, I got
yes,
a ticket.
and so it
Yeah.
ended up being shoot. So it was July 25th, 2017. It was jam night.
During
So
the Baker's Dozen.
Bernie Baker says it
Wow.
hadn't seen Phish in 3 years, hadn't eaten acid in 5 years, hadn't ever been to MSG. Jam, you know what? Never mind. I'd been to MSG for like a Rangers game, but not for Phish.
Well,
So
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
different. So
In the real MSG, yeah.
so that was the night, or that was the show where the Is This Still Lawn Boy?
Yeah.
Were you at these
The big
shows?
I was not.
Okay.
And did you kind of you brought that up just to be like, you weren't there, right? Okay, cool. So let's keep going. You weren't there. Just keep in mind while I'm telling the story, Cam is not there.
Yeah, I just wanted to check and see, so we could like talk about similar interests. Okay, so Is This Still On Boy 30 minutes? And I do remember like turning to Michael and being like, is this still on, boy? So like I get why the shirt was made so quickly. I think I have two
Yeah.
of those, which I don't know why. And I remember it's always fun to see a celebrity. We saw Paul Dano.
Whoa.
And I saw him at Hollywood Bowl too.
I was gonna say
He talked the entire time. Entire time.
I fucking knew it. I knew it.
I'm surprised.
I mean, Paul Dano, he's probably talking about some awesome movie idea that he has. Or he's probably in character for something
But
as a
times I've
chomper.
seen him, he's been with like a cute guy, like a really hunky guy that I want to go talk to, but obviously I'm not. So
Well, you couldn't talk to him because Paul Dano's talking to him during the show.
You're right. God damn
Yeah.
it, Paul. And so I remember during set break, like everything was kicking in, and me wondering, like, why in the world have I stopped seeing this band? And then we moved locations, and second set started to peak, and then they went into cross-eyed, and it was just like,
Oh, yeah.
and, gosh, it was so great it was just like such great energy. I felt there's been times when I've gone to Phish shows and like have felt for some reason or other uncomfortable, whether it's like the person that I'm with or just like I'll have a bad neighbor, but everything about this show, like everything was just absolutely perfect.
Mm.
And it was a sick show. And then I think they encored with Lawn Boy, which is, haha, it was funny. But yeah, it was what got me to be like, why did I stop seeing this band? And then it just got me in deeper. And I think I saw 4 or 5 more shows during Baker's Dozen, and it was so fun, but nothing compared to that show.
Yeah. And it is like you've obviously seen other great Phish shows, but it is like all of those things having to come together, for it to be a good show. Like there could have been one dude sitting next to you that like ruined the whole night because he's like fucking.
And yeah, unfortunately for me, and I hate this about myself, I really, really do, and it's because I'm pretty OCD, is that, and I am working on this, but I have a bit of a problem of letting something small kind of like I can't let it go.
Yeah.
So there have definitely been shows, but sometimes I'll basically just like barter with people. I'm like, yo, I'll give you this joint if you just go away. And people are like, what? It's really mean. Like I
Like,
remember
you're not it tonight. So
at Dick's one year, this guy, I was tripping out because this guy looked like he looked like in my peripherals, he looked like Screech Powers dressed as a pirate. And somehow we convinced him to move, but like it took a little while.
yeah.
Like once he was gone, I was like, he was
Oh.
just like it was just like a bad vibe.
And then he just like went somewhere else. He's like, dude, this lady just gave me a joint. It's so sick. Phish is awesome. Such a loving community. And you're like, fucking Screech has to go. Screech has got to get out of here.
Oh yeah, I just like there was something, yeah. But I think my friend also was feeling it. My friend Emily, because I think she probably got him to go away. But yeah, I hate like I have God, my friend Kara can just like anybody that comes into the fish like into the situation at a fish show, she can just like vibe with them. And I wish I could be that cool, but I'm not.
I'm better at it some nights than other nights, but it is the best is like when there's like some random person or energy that comes up and like starts being fucking crazy, and then it's all in your head, it's the only thing you can think about, but you haven't said anything about it, and then they leave, and then it's like not only you and your friends, but then all the other people that are around you are like, oh, thank God that guy's gone, holy shit. That's like the best. You start high-fiving for and people have no idea why. You're
Like
just
the
like,
collective, yeah. But I
just the
also
guy's
like
gone.
I feel like I've definitely when I was younger was the really annoying person. Like I went to the first Bonnaroo that was in 1978, and I remember I ate like a dirty roll, and I talked to this couple. I don't know what show it was, but if you're watching, which I'm sure you are, I apologize. I would not shut up. I don't know why they were so nice to me.
I was just talking with my friends about like sucking on Molly, like like taking Molly and just being the worst, like drinking way too much because you're able to, like blacking out, doing one bit like for a billion times, and then like annoying everyone around you. Like I am, I I am the worst version of myself when if I choose to do Molly, and that's why I don't. For everybody else, it would be awesome for me, but
You should do a show on Molly.
I'm gonna do one of these episodes on Molly. I'm not gonna tell the guest. I'll be like, "Hi, we've got."
You just like sit in the car, like in your car, like with the heat on the whole time, just like yeah, good
It's
times.
like sing harmonies to songs, but I'm actually not hitting any of the notes.
Trying
I
to
can
get your
sing
guests to do
harmonies.
it with you. I'm
Come on,
here. You need to be here.
everybody, hit the harmony
Here,
here.
here.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good to not do that stuff. At some point, it's good to try. It's good to stop. It's good to stop.
I mean, you just gotta know your limit, you know.
Exactly, and I don't. And I don't. Um, Wow. So you ended up like that reignited your love for Phish again. You were like,
Yeah.
I gotta go to these, I gotta go more shows in the Baker's Dozen run. Did you like get back on tour after that? Were you like connecting with friends like I'm back,
Um,
Michael Jordan style?
yeah, pretty much. Sh- Man, I have a spreadsheet of all the shows that I've been to. I don't know. I think what like really I'm surprised that this happened is so the making the Sneakin Alley account got me like way more into the fish scene than I ever was before. And when I was growing up and I was really into fish, I remember my parents always thinking like this is a phase. And it's funny because actually the older I've gotten, yeah, like she'll grow out of it. The older I've gotten, the more into fish I've actually gotten, which is kind of funny, but also sad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, and it's a huge part of you. And then so like when you go to then make stuff, like you're a comedian and you want to make stuff, like, yeah, it's just like I'm not, I'm
I,
not.
I wouldn't call myself a comedian.
You make comedy.
I don't do
I've
stand.
seen it.
I don't do stand up.
I, I don't do stand up.
Yeah, you
I
do.
fucking I suck at stand up. I do it like very here and there. It's a lot of improv for the chicks, you know, for the babes.
Can I get a topic?
Can I get a suggestion of anything at all?
No, I did improv. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did the did getting back on tour, is that what brought along the videos? Is that what
No, so I was the video started because I left New York in May of 2020, like during the height of the pandemic. Just I love New York, but I was living in a 315 square foot studio in a beautiful building on the Upper West Side. But I was like, I'm gonna die. So I
Yeah.
moved to Folly Beach, South Carolina, which is a little
Wow.
island off the coast of Charleston. And I didn't know anybody. And so I was thinking I'm gonna go bananas if I don't do something to entertain myself. And it was before I had gotten a dog, so it was just me like going fucking crazy. And so I made a fish sketch because I took a sketch writing class when I still lived in New York at UCB, and I loved it. And so I was like, well, I'll apply that knowledge with shit about fish that I know about.
Yeah.
Write about what you know. So I made
Yeah.
this sketch about getting like how hard it is to get fish tickets. And so I made a sketch and I put it on my personal account. And then so Alex runs New Springfield Boogie and
I love him. We've
yeah.
become buddies
So
on the
we
internet.
are old roommates. We lived together.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. We lived
Sick.
together in DC for 2 years. Right after school, we both went to American in DC. And
Wow.
so he called me and he was like, hey, Al, I think that you need to make a separate Instagram account and just make fish sketches. And I was like, absolutely not.
Hmm.
People will make fun of me. I don't want to get trolled. I don't want to do it. And then I think I had like a cocktail and I thought about it and I was like, all right.
I can
And
do it.
I was like, okay, if this one name is available, it's a sign. And I really like Sneakin Sally. And so the name was available. And so, yeah, so I started the account and then I was really surprised at the response and in
Yeah.
the best possible way and people reaching out and you know I'm sure people like you have me to thank because I am the pioneer of fish sketch comedy and if it wasn't for me people like you would not have even come up with this art form, so you're welcome.
You know, I was such a little kid when I started watching your stuff. Ever since I was a little boy.
My folks used to watch it, yeah.
Yeah, we loved your stuff. You were like Carson in our house, you know?
Right.
No, I mean, it there just is not, I mean, anyone else really doing it. There's not anyone making, you know, putting their face on something and making fish comedy. And yeah, I mean, it is cool that people reach out and are nice about it because I wasn't really expecting that. I just was like also bored and wanted to post stuff on TikTok, and I was like, I'll put like I won't use it on my Instagram or I won't post it on my personal Instagram. I'll post it on TikTok where like no one will see it or a bunch of people will see it, and it doesn't really matter either way. And
What's
yeah,
TikTok?
people. So TikTok Alley
Uh-huh.
is this popped up during the pandemic when I was just a young boy. But it's an app that is all videos, and
Okay.
it's
Oh, okay.
like you just scroll
And
through, and it's
it's called
reels.
Tick
It's
Two.
Instagram.
What is it?
It's called TikTok. Here, let me get. It's called TikTok,
Oh, okay.
and
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. I forgot. I have to be louder in this episode
You do. Because I'm old. Because I'm 1.0.
because you're 1.0.
There's
But I
go ahead.
I assume people are not going to like the videos too. I also
Oh,
assume
that
this.
sets up what I was gonna say perfectly because I was just waiting for you to stop talking.
Right. Me too.
I was gonna ask you if you ever like talking about trolls, if you ever get trolled. I recently my most recent troll is this guy on YouTube that tells everyone that I'm lying about being 1.0, which I think it's really funny that like that's his thing. Like, you're not really 1.0. Like,
Yeah.
What? That's your battle? Stop being so obsessed with me. Blue collar 839. Like, calm down.
Yeah, you're so obsessed with me.
Yeah, you're so obsessed with me. Yeah. Do you get
Ultimately,
trolled?
people, yeah, yeah, of course. People are gonna make comments about it, and or like every once in a while, someone will be like, "I'll be honest, I do not think this is funny." And like they have to make sure that they comment on the thing. I'm like, you can keep that to yourself.
What does that mean? What's that need to I'm gonna take some time out of my day to try and make this person's day work bad. I don't
Yeah. Or they feel like there's gonna be like some sort of like all of a sudden everyone's gonna be like, "Hey, yeah, you're right. This I
yeah.
didn't think this was funny." And then like, I don't know.
I
Yeah.
started writing a satire piece based on my last troll called it's along the lines of the extremely let's see, it's the extremely handsome hold on, shit, I'm gonna fuck it up. Let's see. Extremely handsome the extremely handsome, well balanced, financially secure internet troll, a day in the life.
Yeah.
It's none of these people are happy. I don't so I
No.
don't know why I get so worked up when one person, will comment like, "You're an embarrassment."
It's like, yeah, I know, dude. I fully know that. My friend Caleb is one of the first buddies and comedians that I knew was like posting himself on the internet, and he gets shit because his shit goes viral. Like people obviously find his stuff and say mean things about it, but he always I try to think of what he talks about. He's just like, "Oh, my life is so much better than yours." Like he says that every single time, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you're not about to make my life as shitty as yours by saying something mean to me online. Like, I had fun making this thing,
yeah,
buddy.
but pal,
Still hurts though. Still hurts my little feelings.
yeah. I never made fun of you online, but I did make fun of you behind your back, and I apologize for that.
All right, what was the joke? Let's hear it.
Nothing. I was just like, "Fuck this kid."
It
And then
wasn't
I
a
met
joke. I
you,
was just
and I was like, "Oh, okay, like, he's actually, like, the sweetest Boy Scout in the world, and he is in school with my grandson." And I just, I couldn't say I just adore you, and, I couldn't say enough great things about you, and you do a really good Bob Weir impression.
thank you.
I can't do impressions. I can do accents, but I can't do impressions. And I was actually supposed to start working one-on-one with a coach to start working on impressions right before the pandemic.
Damn. Well, you do like a full-bodied character and or multiple characters in your videos. Like I'm always just like me.
Yeah,
And then
you're just
sometimes I'm Bob. But but you will do like you put on a full guy. You like first of
yeah.
all, I'm sure when you put the ball cap on, Allie's gone.
This guy, so I just started kind of like talking to this boy, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "What if
So
I like, what would you do if you woke up and I was in full bald with my bald cap, with, the mustache and the glasses, just on top of you, going at it?" And he was just like you could tell there was so much regret and why did I start seeing this person? But
he's like, unfortunately, I would fucking love that.
I think
Okay.
I think he can do it.
Unfortunately, I kind of have been waiting to ask you about that. So yeah, actually, thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty funny.
Well, this has just been absolutely lovely having you on. We finally collabed, and I would love to make videos with you. I love
Yeah,
the idea that you sent over.
I have an idea for us.
I love that idea, and we're not going to say what the idea is.
Mm-mm.
We'll say it off the recording what the
Yeah.
idea is, and then do it and have people enjoy it. But yeah, this has been great, and I hope to see you at shows in the future. And you're the best.
Thanks. No,
Just
you are.
you are. Come on, stop it.
Thanks, Cam. This was fun.
Do you have shows that you're looking forward to coming up? Do you have anything that you're going to see?
No, I don't really go to shows other than Fish. Now since I'm moving back to Athens, I am gonna try to get out more and be more social because I'm a bit of a recluse. Um So I'm gonna try and get out more. A buddy of mine did ask. He's like, "Let's go to Fish Mexico," and I'm like, "I can't. I'm moving." But now
Mm,
I'm moving earlier, and I have more of my shit together. So now I'm kind of like, "Hey, why don't you bring that up again and let's go?" So,
yeah, you should ask
um,
me again.
and I don't think I'm going to the Sphere, but again, I didn't think I was gonna go to the New Year's run either, and look what happened. So
Well, then that means I'll see you at the Sphere,
yeah,
and we'll be hanging with some AI robots and kicking it and seeing Phish
yeah.
at the IMAX.
I thought, gosh, it's gonna be people are gonna like be losing their minds. You know that, right? Like bunch of kids gonna take too much drugs. You know,
Now we're that age. You kids better pace yourselves down there.
like you don't want to underdo it, but you don't want to, like. Well, hold on, no, I did that wrong. You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it.
You also don't want to underdo it, right? 'Cause it's the fucking Sphere. You got to
There's
get the
gonna
whole
be some
thing.
overdoing it though.
There's gonna be a lot of overdoing it. Me being one of those people. All right, and that was my conversation with Sneakin Ally. She's so funny, dude. I mean, she absolutely cracks me up. I can't wait to make stuff in the future with her. I can't wait to rage a show with her. I'm sure anyone who's going to be around us during that show is going to be very annoyed because we probably will be doing little bits, and they're probably going to be about you. So um, I'm super pumped to have gotten to speak with her. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed this, there's another episode out right now with another comedian named Mike Fanoia. And he also talks about his Phish journey and seeing them in the 90s and such. Um, if you listen on YouTube, please subscribe to the page. We would love to have you subscribed and just have YouTube send you little notifications about when stuff comes out. I post clips on YouTube, and so you usually get those first on here. And so please give us a subscribe. If you listen on Apple Podcast or Spotify, if you could review the show, rate it 5 stars, all that stuff, it really helps us out within the algorithm. And so would love and appreciate that. And if you'd like to get even more best show ever, if you need bonus clips and you'd even like to get these episodes a day early, you could become a member of our Patreon. The Patreon right now currently has some free episodes on it, but it also has a bunch of exclusive bonus clips, and you get access to these episodes a day early. And if you become a member of the Patreon, it's $4 a month, get access to all that stuff. And so feel free to check that out. Thank you guys so much for listening this week. And until next time, guys, have a great show.